In this video, we'll dive into some of Elizabeth Hurley's movies where she left viewers mesmerized by her attractiveness. Get ready for the top 10 hottest Elizabeth Hurley movies that will totally make your jaw drop. Number 10. Double Whammy. You've got to check out this awesome movie called Double Whammy. It's a mix of crime, comedy, and drama with a touch of satire, romance, and mystery. It was written and directed by the talented Tom DeCillo, who also made other cool films like Living in Oblivion and The Real Blonde. The story revolves around Ray Pluto, a detective in New York City who becomes a total laughingstock after he couldn't stop a shooting at a burger joint. You know why? His back gave out, and he ended up falling. Can you believe it? But hey, don't worry, the suspect got shot by a brave kid who was just there. Now, Ray has some deep emotional scars too. He's haunted by the memories of losing his wife and child in a tragic traffic accident. It's really tough for him to cope with all that grief, but here's where the amazing Elizabeth Hurley comes in. Hurley plays Dr. Beamer in the movie. She's super smart, caring, and oh boy, attractive. She's a real expert at helping Ray with his back pain and emotional struggles. But that's not all. She's got this great chemistry with Ray, and she helps him deal with the pain of losing his family. She's witty, compassionate, and she's got this knack for healing people. You can't help but love her character. Number 9. Permanent Midnight. Back in 1998, there was this movie called Permanent Midnight, and it's based on the true story of Jerry Stahl, a TV writer who had a tough battle with heroin addiction. Now guess who's in it? Our very own Elizabeth Hurley. In the movie, Liz plays the character of Sandra, who happens to be Jerry's wife and the mother of their daughter Nina. Sandra is a cool British woman working at a TV studio, and she actually helps Jerry land some writing gigs on shows like Mr. Chompers and No Such Luck. She starts off being all supportive and stuff, but as you can imagine, she got seriously frustrated and angry with Jerry's drug use and how it affects their family. Eventually, she's had enough and decides to divorce him, even limiting contact with their daughter. But Sandra is no pushover. She's a strong, smart, and caring woman who tries her best to save Jerry from himself. She really gives it her all, but in the end, she realizes that she can't force someone to change if they don't want to. Number 8. The Weight of Water. This movie is based on a novel by Anita Shreve and tells two captivating stories side by side. One takes us back to a murder that happened in the 19th century on an island off the coast of New Hampshire, while the other focuses on a modern-day photographer who becomes obsessed with the crime during a visit to the same island with her husband and his brother. And guess who's in it? Elizabeth Hurley, of course. She plays the role of Adeline Gunn, a woman living on the island in 1873, and she did stir things up. Adeline is a sensual, flirty, and manipulative lady who ends up seducing Louis Wagner, a German immigrant working on the island. But that's not all. She also has an affair with John Hontvet, the husband of Marin Hontvet, who happens to be the only survivor of the murder and the main suspect. Adeline is a real key witness in the trial of Louis Wagner, who stands accused of killing Marin's sister and sister-in-law. She's a complex and intriguing character, harboring a dark secret that links her to the crime. Talk about a twist! Number 7. Serving Sarah. The story revolves around Joe Tyler, a process server played by Matthew Perry. He's hired to deliver divorce papers to Sarah Moore, a fancy British socialite portrayed by Elizabeth Hurley. But here's the twist. Instead of just serving the papers, Joe ends up helping Sarah seek revenge on her cheating husband, Gordon Moore. Elizabeth Hurley brings Sarah Moore to life, and let me tell you, she's a force to be reckoned with. Sarah is smart, beautiful, and ambitious. She married Gordon for his wealth and status, but he betrayed her by filing for divorce in Texas, where she'd get nothing. So she offers Joe a whopping $1 million to serve Gordon with papers that would grant her half of his fortune under New York law. And off they go on a crazy cross-country chase to find Gordon before he flees the country. Along the way, Sarah starts developing feelings for Joe, and she realizes that money isn't everything. She's a funny, charming, and resourceful character who stands up for herself and goes after what she deserves. Number 6. Bedrooms and Hallways. In this movie, Leo, a gay man who joins a men's group, finds himself falling for his old school buddy, Brendan. The twist? Brendan is married to a woman named Sally. That's where Elizabeth Hurley's character, Lucy, comes in. Lucy is Leo's best friend and roommate. Lucy, played by Hurley, is a successful real estate agent with a major crush on Leo. But here's the cool part. She supports his relationship with Brendan even though she has feelings for him herself. Talk about being a supportive friend. And that's not all. Lucy also has a fling with Jeremy, a bisexual guy who happens to be part of the same men's group as Leo and Brendan. Lucy is witty, confident, and stylish. She loves having a good time and isn't afraid to give advice to her friends. With her humorous and loyal nature, she adds some serious spice to the film. Number 5. Passenger 57. The story follows John Cutter, an airline security expert played by Wesley Snipes. He's just an ordinary guy trying to enjoy his flight when things take a dangerous turn. Charles Rain entered, a notorious terrorist who hijacks the plane that Cutter is on. Talk about bad luck. Now, here's where Elizabeth Hurley comes in. She plays Sabrina Ritchie, one of Rain's accomplices who pretends to be a flight attendant. Sabrina is no ordinary lady. She's cold, ruthless, and oh so seductive. Working with Rain, she helps take over the plane and even takes part in killing some of the passengers and crew. Yikes! Sabrina adds tension and glamour to the film. With her calculated moves and dangerous allure, she keeps you guessing and amps up the excitement. Number 4. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. In the sequel to Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, we follow the wacky British spy Austin Powers. This time, he's on a mission to travel back to 1969 and save his mojo from his arch nemesis, Dr. Evil. Now, here's where Elizabeth Hurley comes in. She plays the role of Vanessa Kensington, Austin's wife and former partner from the first film. But hold on to your hats, because there's a twist. Vanessa is revealed to be a fembot, a robotic woman programmed by Dr. Evil himself. Vanessa, with her machine gun breasts, was supposed to kill Austin during their honeymoon, but as luck would have it, she fails to shoot him and ends up self-destructing instead. Talk about a wild surprise. Vanessa may have been a brief character, but she left a lasting impression. Her unexpected robotic nature adds humor and a touch of surprise to the film. Number 3. The Royals. The story revolves around scandal, intrigue, and romance, all set up against the backdrop of intense public scrutiny. Elizabeth Hurley takes on the role of Queen Helena, the glamorous and cunning matriarch of the royal family. She's the widow of King Simon and will stop at nothing to protect her family and their legacy. Queen Helena finds herself at odds with her brother-in-law, King Cyrus, who took over the throne when her eldest son, Robert, was presumed dead. There's no shortage of tension between these two. On top of that, she struggles to control her rebellious twin children, Prince Liam and Princess Eleanor, who have their fair share of problems and secrets. With her power, complexity, and manipulative nature, Queen Helena adds a touch of drama and elegance to the show. She's a force to be reckoned with, always keeping you guessing about her next move. Number 2. Then Came You. Annabelle Wilson, a lonely widow with a unique plan, embarks on a trip around the world, carrying her husband's ashes and visiting the places they love in movies. Sounds like a bittersweet adventure, doesn't it? Her first stop takes her to Scotland, where she encounters Lord Howard Odd, a charming innkeeper residing in a castle-like estate. And here's where Elizabeth Hurley comes in. She plays the role of Claire Hollings, Howard's fiancée and a wealthy heiress. Claire, let's just say, is not the kindest soul. She's snobbish, selfish, and demanding. All she cares about is Howard's money and status, completely disregarding his feelings and dreams. To make matters worse, she dislikes Annabelle and tries to sabotage their growing friendship. But fear not, although Claire is a minor character, her presence adds conflict and humor to the film. You'll find yourself rooting for Annabelle and hoping that true love finds its way in the end. Number 1. Bedazzled. This movie is about Elliot Richards, an IT worker who's a bit socially awkward. One day, he strikes a deal with the devil, played by Elizabeth Hurley, also known as Lucy. The devil grants Elliot 7 wishes to win the heart of his crush, Allison, in exchange for his soul. Talk about a risky bargain. But here's the catch. Every wish Elliot makes ends up backfiring on him in hilarious ways. The devil, being witty, cunning, and oh so sexy, enjoys tormenting Elliot and tempting him with her seductive forms. She's always one step ahead, tricking him into making wishes that never quite go as planned. Not only does the devil have her own mischievous agenda, but she also has a rivalry with God, whom she playfully calls the boss. She tries to outsmart him by collecting souls, adding an extra layer of rivalry and wit to the story. If you like this video, be sure to check out this other video on beautiful actresses of yesteryears on the end screen.